Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. This is Mr. Jabu, the business coach and the entrepreneurship trainer. I also help business coaches, consultants, and speakers to start, restructure, and sustain their own business and automate their own business and put them online. And today I'm so happy and so grateful and so honored to be having my brother here all the way from Durban, Mr. Jabu Masilela. So Mr. Jabu is the Get Promoted Coach, Mr. Get Promoted Coach. So if you want to take your business to the next level, you want to take your business to the next level, you want to earn more, you want to know how to treat your employees, you want to know how to treat your employer, today is your day. You are at the right place. You are at the right place. So welcome, Mr. Jabu. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. What a sterling introduction there. I couldn't have done a better job. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate you having reached out to me and basically invited me to this. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Perfect, man. Perfect. And thank you so much. I know you also have got a very tight schedule, but yeah, we made it. We made it, man. We made it. Okay. So tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Jabu? Who is Jabu?
Well, that's a great question. Jablani is a guy who grew up in Attridgeville, Pretoria. And as you mentioned now, I live in Durban. And they call me the Get Promoted Coach, accountability coach, results coach. I want to earn more coach, right? Money coach. And like you said, I help people either get a job, to get instantly hired, or even employers for them to be able to recruit the right talent, or those that are looking to get promoted at their jobs, to earn more, and so that they can have a better reach in their community, in their society, in their countries, in their nation. And that's Jabu in a nutshell.
Oh, wow. So are you saying that you are being accused of being the Get Promoted Coach by the people that you are busy coaching and training? Are they accusing you?
Yeah, I know. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I help people earn more. If you're looking to earn more, then coaching is what you need. That's it.
Oh, yes, man. Yeah. So our topic today is how to thrive in business, either as an employer or as an employee, right? Because be it you are employed, you are coming to work at my company, you are also in business of making that money each and every month, right? So, and I am in business of making sure that I go out there, I sell more deals, I come, I give those, we work together on all those deals, and you also earn from those. So it's a 50 to 50 thing, yeah. So so what's your thoughts about this topic? Let's just scratch at the surface of the topic. How to thrive in business, be it as an employee or as an employer. How to thrive.
Well, I think, yeah, that's a very broad question that you're asking. But the first thing that comes to mind simply is that in my observation with various employers, right? In my observation is that many employers, they don't take the time to sharpen their skills, to sharpen their ability to be able to recruit the right talent, and not only to just recruit the right talent, but to retain it, to keep the right talent. Because if you have the right people in your organization, in your company, you are able to reach the heights that you want and make the income and make the profit that you need for your company and for your people, right? So it's a very interesting one, and I hope in this discussion that people will definitely be able to benefit greatly from the insights and the principles that we're going to be teaching here.
Oh wow, that's very true. That's very true. So so let's say as an employer, right? In this economy that we are right now, the economy that is not stable, the economy, that is just up and down, you know. And with this pandemic and sort of stuff. So tell me something. Is there still good talents out there and the competition that is there, is there still a way where I can be able to identify good people that are fit for my company? Is there still a way of doing that? Are they still there or they are all taken?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I think the very first thing that you as a business owner ought to be doing is looking internally. Look at what you have at your disposal at the moment. You have three people. You have C players, B players, and A players. And let me tell you a little bit about these people.
Oh, yeah.
The C players are babysitted by the B players, and the B players are babysitted by the A players. The A players end up doing the work for the B players. The B players end up babysitting the C players. And so to make it even more easier to understand, those that take the initiative, those that have the drive, that don't wait for you to say, hey, Mr. John, Mr. Dongo, do you have anything else for me to do? How can I help you today? And can I learn how do you put together this report? Can I learn how you do this thing and that and the other? Those that take the initiative are the ones that are worth keeping. They are an asset to your organization. They're not going to be a liability. So the B's and C's, as an employer, you ought to be cutting those.
Oh wow, wow, that's so amazing. That's so amazing. But as an employer, how do I maintain the issue of the company culture? You know, every company, or like from the country view, like you hear everybody saying, no, this is not part of our culture. You are diluting our culture. You are diluting our culture. For forgetting that this same culture, it's also available in the company, in the business. So how can we deal with the culture thing, the company culture? How can we actually deal with that?
You know, I think as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you have to be at the forefront of that culture. Let me give you an example. For example, if one of your employees comes to you with a problem or a challenge, right? Are you quick to just give them and offer them a solution? Or do you allow them to actually think for themselves and come up with at least maybe three possible solutions that they can put in action or that they can use to try and help themselves before you actually come and intervene, right? That's part of now being able to develop leaders, right? And here's another thing. Here's another part to culture. A lot of managers or supervisors or people that are in charge of teams, if you will, that they are often afraid, they're often afraid of teaching people and training them and coaching them on everything that they know. They are afraid that they are going to take away the job for them, that they are no longer going to have a job to keep, right? And that's not the right mentality. The mentality should be that if you can be replaced, then hey, guess what? You make room for another person. You can then get promoted and make room for another person. That way we're building continuity. No more managers and supervisors and team builders, team leaders that hoard to all the knowledge, that don't impart and coach and train people. So that's what I can say about culture in a company.
Wow, you touched a very important point there. Um, the point of holding information and not training your people, because let me give you an example of what I did in Somerset West, right there in Cape Town. So I've got a franchise shop there. So what I was doing, there were people who were coming to the office. If those clients don't see me in the office, they were not buying anything. They would say, no, we're not going to buy anything until this guy is here, because he's the one who knows what he's doing. Until I know to call those people and say, okay, guys, I think there's something that I'm doing wrong here. What is it that I am doing wrong? Right? Then after that, only to my surprise, I discovered that, okay, I'm the one who was not imparting all of the information and give it to my employees, then also introduce my employees to my clients, so that when I'm not there, they're going to be able to help them in whatsoever way that I was supposed to do. So that is actually one of the mistakes that I learned and quickly fixed that. Simply because of, remember, I need to work on my business, not in my business. But now, if I'm now busy, so if I'm now busy doing everything, not letting my employees doing every or other work, guess what? I'm now working in my business, and my business will not gonna work, simply because of I'm not there for that business. So I must create a culture of people that know that, okay, when we go to the office, we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't need to be reminded. We need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the culture that I'm busy creating right now. And when I see that, okay, this thing, I don't think they can be able to understand me. Guess what? I automate it and put it online. I put it there. I automate it. Whether I'm there or I'm not there, people, they're still gonna buy it. They're still gonna do it. They do what they know, while the system is doing the rest. So that is a very important point that I also need to comment on that side. And also, what's your thought about bosses or business people that manages people? You always say that we don't manage people, but we manage results. So can you please explain on that one? You explain it better than me.
No problem. So basically, often what I found as well with managers, or rather business owners, entrepreneurs, they want to micromanage people. They want to be looking over people's shoulders and checking them every time, all the time, and watching them like a hawk. That's not the way to do it. That's not the right culture to have in your company. What you need to be doing is managing the end result, right? People ought to be given targets that they're working towards. You need to have an incentive program in your company for people that reach their targets, and even people that far exceed their targets as well, to reward that. That's what you need to be tracking. That's what you need to be managing, and not people. Listen, sometimes people are on their phones, or they're having chit chat, and they're chit chatting away, or they're whiling away time. They can do all that as much as they want, but you are only managing the results, the end result. That is what's key. Not managing people, managing the results.
Wow. And also managing results actually gonna lead into creating the actual work. Because if I'm saying, okay, guys, our target is this and this and this and this and this. So whatever we do, we need to find ourselves reaching those things. Either way, whether we are sleeping, whether we are WhatsApping, whether we are Facebooking, whatever we are doing, the end result must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So people, they'll know that, okay, we've got our target of this, we've got our target of that. So whatever we do, if we will do this job or whatsoever, but by this time we must have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is a very powerful point. That's a very powerful point. Okay, let me now ask about the what can I say about the employee view, right? Me as an employee, what must I do? What must I'm employed on this company that doesn't have company culture. This company that I've got some that sometimes you don't even understand what is happening there. So what can I do to change the whole system and get noticed? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the coffin there with your question by getting noticed, right?
Yeah.
That's part of what I coach people on. For them to get noticed, to start earning more, to start earning your worth. I teach people that basically the reason why as an employee you are not earning your worth, it's your fault. It is you.
Yeah.
You are not taking the initiative. You're expecting that your employer, your boss, if you will, that he must now or she must always be on your back and basically asking you to help them with this, that, and the other. You ought to be offering to say, hey, I'm done with my work that I need to get done for this part of the morning. Is there anything that I can do to make your life easier? Show me how to do this report. Show me
Yeah.
how to work on this thing. Show me how to work on that thing.
Yeah.
And when that is how you start getting noticed. None of this thing of expecting things to be given to you and handed to you on a silver platter. It's dead and buried. That doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. And actually, to go back to one of your previous points that you put across, I know we have a lot of people on here that are from different parts of the world, right? And that with this ongoing pandemic and
Yeah.
this uh, these moments of uncertainty, this is actually the right time to be pressing the reset button, to
Oh yeah.
refocusing, to readjust, to refocus and repivot, and really invest in coaching,
Yeah.
because there are certain, when you're driving, you have side mirrors, and there's what is called and commonly known as blind spots, right?
Yeah.
That is what a coach is there for, to help you see the blind spots, to help you see what you don't see with your own naked eye. Someone who has no emotional attachment to your business,
Yeah.
and they're coming in and coaching you and training you objectively on what you ought to be doing and what you ought to be focusing on. That is the benefit of getting a coach. Someone who's going to help you see what you don't see in yourself, in your business, what you ought to be doing, how you need to be focusing on the right things.
Wow. Wow. Focusing on the right things. Focusing on the right things. When you are coming to work, right? It's not all about, okay, so I'm just going to work and work. You are also going to work to create your brand as well. You are going to work as an employee to be noticed, so that when your employer is talking about you, they must be talking about the whole heaven and earth. They must say, without this person, I can't do anything. Without this person, I can't do anything. I thank God for this person that can not say, oh, okay, that one. No. So that is just what you can. And then now the other question is, as an employee, how can I get promoted? How can I get promoted? Yes, yeah, I've heard you. I actually heard you talking about doing more than what is expected. But what else? Because remember, I'm doing that, and this one is doing that, and that one is doing that, and that one is doing that. So how can I go now to there? How can I compete? Yeah.
Well, part of what can also give you a competitive advantage is not only learning from coaches like myself, right? learning from other experts, other recruiters, other employers who are in the business space, who are business owners, right? And I have a course that I've put together that is a DIY. It's a DIY. You do it yourself, and you basically learn not only from me, but various other professionals who are in the mining industry, who are in the recruiting space, who are in the placement space, who are actually doing recruitment for the likes of Amazon, Sappi, Nampak, some of the local companies, even also global companies like your Amazon, an e-commerce company, where they tell you exactly what does it take for you to get promoted? What does it take for you to be able to get noticed and start earning your worth? And I think sometimes maybe getting promoted, people may look at that in a very narrow perspective. Let me change that perspective for you. This also means that perhaps maybe in the company that you're in right now, maybe you're not as appreciated as you should be. Maybe it's time for you to make a move. Maybe it's time for you to look elsewhere. Maybe it's time for you to go elsewhere where your talent will be recognized and appreciated, right? So, and it also means that perhaps you can start creating a side income for yourself, right? And that's what it takes.
Wow. And then I think the other thing, let me just share the other story of one of my employee. So this guy, he's very resourceful. Sometimes he could say, okay, sir, we need this and that and that. And I said, okay, maybe month end I can be able to do that. Said, okay, it's fine. But I was also thinking of this and this. Okay, it's fine. And then guess what? Within 24 hours, you see him coming up with this. Boom! You have done this job with this that job without me. And I said, wow, this is amazing. And the other thing is, we could actually be speaking. Let's say we are just discussing in a meeting. So, okay, you know what, guys? I was thinking that we can do 1, 2, 3, but I'm not sure how we can do it in this and this way. Within no time, you see him type everything. He brought it, actually bring it. It's designed. It's done this way. It's done that. You just said, "Wow, this is amazing. What else can I do without you?" So be resourceful as an employee. Be resourceful as an employee. You don't need to only use the company resources. Just be resourceful, because even though it's good for the company, it's also good for you, so that tomorrow when you are fired, tomorrow when you actually resign, or tomorrow when you think of looking elsewhere, you can even now go and start opening your own things, just because you are very much resourceful. So you need to be resourceful both as an employer and as an employee as well. You need to be so resourceful. Yeah, that is the other thing. Okay. So what are other tips, man, that you can actually give to the people who are on this call? What are other tips and other ideas that you can do for both employee and employers?
No, that's let's start with the employers quickly, okay? Let's start with them. So you mentioned previously about being able to establish systems in your company, in your business. Systems, and to create a culture that allows you that if I remove Mr. Dongo from the business, that this business still continues to run in his absence, right? Part of that, if we can go a little deeper into that, it means that you need to be basically doing coaching with your people that breaks down very complex tasks. Whatever that you do in your area of responsibility, whatever that you regard as a complex task, you need to be able to break it down in a step-by-step process. Step 1, you do this. Step 2, you do that. Step 3, you do that. Step 4, you need to break down complex processes or tasks into a simple step-by-step process, so that when you're not there, then someone else can be able to look at that step-by-step process, and it still gets done precisely as though you are doing it, but actually someone else is doing it, right? So that's part of implementing the right systems, and not being afraid and thinking to yourself, oh no, this thing can only be done perfectly and in the right way if I'm available. Wrong mindset. You need to develop systems and develop step-by-step processes, and also the follow-up on it. Once you've shown someone that step-by-step process, you need to follow up to check on them, to see if they are doing it correctly, right? And monitoring it. And once you've done enough follow-up and they've shown you that they are doing it, at the level or the extent to which satisfies you, then you can remove yourself completely, right? That's now the advice for the employers. Now, on the employee side, right, I'll add another personal example that I have. So in my area of responsibility, I basically, sometimes I need to be able to implement certain systems in various locations, right? And so because time is really a very important thing, what I do, I take one of my subordinates or people that are under my care, under my responsibility. I show them the system. I show them how this works from A to Z, from Z to A, and I ask them to do it, and I monitor that. And so I did that with one of my subordinates, right? One of my people, and had them go around and implement the same thing, and they did it to the T. And the person, right, it's part of that resourcefulness, that they don't wait for you. They don't wait for you to tell them, hey, do this, do that. They have the hunger. That's another thing. You need to have the hunger as an employee. You need to have the drive, right? Self-motivation. Don't wait for your employer to tell you, hey, do this, do that. No, take the initiative. That's how you add more zeros to your income. Initiative. Have the drive. Don't look at the clock. Make sure that you make it count. You make the time count. Don't count the time. That's it.
Oh, wow. You make the time count. Don't count the time. I'm sure you heard that. Oh, wow. So, you know what? The way you have actually broke this thing down, and the tips that I thought your closing tips are actually the main tips, you know. But thank you so much, Samantha, for joining us today. So, by the way, Mr. Jablan also has got a course that I have. We're also gonna put the link as well below in the description as well. There'll be the link as well where you can go and order his course and everything. And don't forget that we are always here to keep on giving you the information that you need. We go out there, we go and look for the people that you think like we cannot bring them there. Yeah, those are the people that we need to go there and bring here and learn and grow, so that we also become as what they actually did, right? So thank you so much, guys, for joining us today, and thank you so much, Mr. Jabu, for making time to be on this call. I'm sure to all of the employee and employers that are on this webinar, if you still remain the same as a same person, you better get out of the business or quit that job. Because with all of these simple yet greatest ideas that we have been hearing from this webinar, you can start to implement them right away. You can actually start to implement them right away and start also earning your worth. So thank you so much, Mr. Jabu, for joining us today. It was such a
thank you. It's my honor to be on your webinar. Thank you again, Mr. Dongo.